We got an issue down at Florida State, and it's not just the 0-2 start. It is an issue, but that's not the issue I want to talk to you about. Apparently, the 0-2 start's been bad. Apparently, the in-stadium experience has been just as bad, and the decision-making around Florida State has been just as bad. So I know most of you are not following this. I'm following it for you. You're looking at B-roll right now of what you probably know Florida State home games for. You picture Chief Osceola, you picture the flaming spear in the ground, you picture the tomahawk chop on third down, you picture the war chant, you picture a totally unique and awesome college football experience, which means somewhere out there, there is a nameless, faceless bureaucrat who wants to ruin it. So they took it away. Not totally, but they've taken it away on third downs. Like when I was growing up until like 5 minutes ago, if I'm watching a Florida State game and they get you in 3rd and 7, they're going to pin their ears back. Normally they got high caliber athletes to come after you, but also that crowd is going to be a factor. And it feels like I'm playing against 14 guys on defense. So they've started 0-2. They come home the other day. They get just embarrassed by Boston College, and you have all sorts of people complaining about the on-the-field product, but they're complaining about the off-the-field product too, because apparently the stadium experience sucked because they have taken that away. They've taken the war chant away, and they just, play music on third downs, which anyone can do. There's nothing unique about that. Now, apparently this happened last year, but no one complained last year because they were winning. Apparently people didn't like it last year even, but they didn't want to complain while they're winning. But once you start losing, then all the Band-Aids get ripped off and everyone's grievances get aired out. And I have not spoken to a single Florida State fan who likes this. I've spoken to like 50 million of you today who dislike this. So we don't have war chant being played on third down anymore because we just have being played instead. And one of two things could be true here. Both of them suck. Either the players asked for it, which is what we've been led to believe. The players made the request last year, which means someone down there was stupid enough to let players, in many cases who were transfers and in and out within 12 months, change a decades-old tradition. Either they were stupid enough to do that, or that's not the way it happened. If that's the way it happened, if you guys, I don't care who it was, I don't need to know who it was. If anyone down there actually signed off on players, many of whom will not be there for more than a calendar year, changing a decades-old tradition for a program that doesn't belong to them. They're not paying for the tickets. They're not the reason that stadium's being renovated again. They haven't shown up year over year. Like it's their team, but it's not their program. It's not their brand. It's the fans. The lacrosse team's working out too, but there's not nearly as much attention on them as there is on football because people have decided the football team is really entertaining and we love it and we're going to cherish it and we're going to build it up. In return, we create traditions. It's not up to a kid who's 20 years old or an army of them who are 20 years old to come in and vote, no, we're not going to do that thing anymore. And anyone who signed off on that, can you imagine, by the way, whoever's office that was, players come in and say, yeah, the war chant on third down, we don't want it anymore. Okay, whatever you guys say, fire that person, get rid of that person. So it either happened that way, or the alternative is it didn't happen that way, the players didn't ask for it, and somebody we've never even heard of just decided they didn't want the war chant on third down anymore. Because why in the world would we want one of the most intimidating and unique traditions in all of college football? Why would we want to make our stadium deafening and intimidating and make it a spectacle unique unto anything else in the landscape of this sport when we can just make it sound like a gas station parking lot on a Friday night instead? Great. No matter how much you dislike these administrative types, you do not dislike them enough. I promise you, if you could get to know some of these people, because I do, you would dislike them so much more than you do right now, not knowing them. I know many of you work in different environments. I have my fist clenched as I'm talking. A lot of you work in environments that have nothing to do with sports, but you have to deal with these types of people. You love tradition. Tradition is what's great about college football to me. For 98% of the people watching this show, for 98% of the people in the stands at Doak Campbell Stadium, tradition is what draws you to this sport. It's not superior athleticism. If you needed that, you'd just be watching the NFL. You wouldn't be watching college. You watch college because it presents something that nothing else has. It's called tradition. It's called pageantry. That means a million different things to a million different people, but there are a few staples around programs like Florida State, the War Chant on third down being one of them. You love that, but not everyone does. And some of them, unfortunately, get put in decision-making positions. You and I love the War Chant on third down. They don't. They tolerate it temporarily and hope that maybe we can kind of change it. You know, let me straighten my bow tie. I don't like this. This feels kind of grimy and dirty and raw. You don't belong in a decision-making position in major college athletics, point blank. So whoever signed off on that, reverse it before the next home game, and then after they reverse it, take the nameplate off their door and kick them to the curb. That's the way that should be handled.